Welcome to this overview presentation on XMPro's event intelligence tools that help you manage complex operations in real time at scale. XMPro enables you to create a common operating picture that informs you of what business events are happening or likely to happen and put you in control of how you respond to these events that impact your operations. I'd like to start with an example of an XMPro customer who got this right. This global mining company reduced underground conveyor downtime for a specific failure mode by more than 70%. And as a result, they gained 184 hours of additional production, equating to about 44,000 product tons for this particular mine. All this happened 1 mile underground, and XMPro provides a common operating picture for 52 conveyors covering more than 50 miles or 80 kilometers of underground tunnels. This common operating picture is a simple London tube map style representation of the underground conveyor system. At the start of the project, the XMPro recommendation engine identified many high and medium severity events that needed to be responded to before the motor protection would trip and stop the conveyor system. 5 months later, the picture changed drastically. There were only a handful of medium severity events, and the maintenance planners had more than enough time to address these in advance. The overall time to resolve new events decreased drastically from 556 hours to 276 hours, as reliability engineers now spent more time during the initial investigation phase, which has gone up from 1 hour 46 minutes to 12 hours 42 minutes. These engineers now have the right data to address the real causes of downtime at the right time. Not only did they manage to address downtime of the conveyors for specific root causes, but they extended this common operating picture to underground borers. And in the following 6 months, they added pumps, crushers, fans, and some management OEE KPIs to the operating picture. With the XMPro Digital Twin Composition platform, they could add capabilities incrementally as they built out new event intelligence that the common operating picture provides. This includes adding computer vision to detect splice failure on the conveyors, for example. By also combining the conveyors with the borers and the hoist, they created an underground digital twin that provides a real-time common operating picture of the crucial and critical subsurface operations with prescriptive recommendations that provide a consistent response to events that are happening or are likely to happen. The leadership of the company saw the fact that their own engineers were able to compose this operational view themselves as the real digital transformation that they were seeking. It provides them with a competitive advantage that drastically improves operations. It further enables them to add additional capabilities to existing use cases in an incremental way to create composite or system digital twins. Combining the conveyor and the borers as a basic underground digital twin provides a common operating picture of the combined assets that form a key part of the underground operations. The XMPro common operating picture delivers greater than 10x return on investment in the first year, and the time to value for the first use case was less than 30 days. It also enabled the business to capture expert knowledge as part of the process. And currently it's processing about 42 million messages a day, which equates to about 340 million data points. So significant scaling from that perspective. So what problem is XMPro solving? For us, real-time operations is real. Every day your business is exposed to more and more internal and external events that need to be responded to in real time. And these events can come from the actions of people in your business, the actions of your competitors, customers, legislators, suppliers, equipment that break down, process failures, severe weather events, the operational intelligence that you gather from all the other business systems that you have, all the other data sources and web services. And currently we've seen the influx of information from Internet of Things with sensor-based or smart device or machine-borne data as part of this deluge of information that come at you. Now, how you respond to these events is really the key. And the value of real-time information that you receive on when things are happening or likely to happen depreciate over time. So when you know a certain condition exists, you have limited time, and depending on what it is, what the event is, that time span that you have to respond to it vary. So you want to be notified when these things happen. Now, for us, event intelligence is that ability to still impact the outcome of the event. So it's typically, as you see here, the sand still flowing before it lands and it settles. Then it becomes business intelligence. Then I can do reporting on what were my failures, what were the losses. What we're trying to do with event intelligence and the problem that XMPro is solving is how do we impact the outcome of an event by having the ability to intervene. Now this sounds very straightforward, but why is this hard? It requires subject matter experts to understand, have the knowledge and context of the problem that needs to be solved in real time. Then you need to be able to do the data engineering, bring that real-time data in, do the orchestration before you can create an application of that in terms of a digital twin or a application that can inform you of the event that's happening. And most organizations have a challenge just putting these three foundational things together. When we talk to operations managers, what we hear they say is they just don't want to be blindsided by business events or operational events. And this is not just in a certain area, but it spans across all the areas in terms of the actual production and manufacturing processes, the asset health and performance, the environmental safety, risk, people and HR processes, and more supply chains. All these events and the combination of events causes a real headache. Now, this is where a common operating picture provides information at all levels of the organization to be able to address that. What we also hear is that they want to reduce the reliance on third parties to create this competitive advantage, because their subject matter experts in the business have a deep understanding of how it works. And most of the technologists, reliability engineers, automation engineers, geophysicists, people like that, the technical business technologists have more and more technical skills. They are technologists. So what you want to do with them is give them the ability to take some templates and blueprints and expand on those to create this. So for that, you really want a no-code application, composition kind of approach for those subject matter experts. They don't have to code, but they understand exactly what they want to create and do that in a composable fashion. The last thing we hear they say is that they want to digitize and automate event response. So the real objective is to be able to bring all of the data from all these different systems that you already have in the business without ripping and replacing them, and automating that so that there's real-time event detection and response. And this needs to be scaled out in a large complex organization. So for that, again, you would want no-code integration with the orchestration and automation capabilities. Now, this is where composable digital twins enable you to actually create that event-based common operating picture at scale. The notion of a common operating picture actually comes from emergency and natural disaster response, as well as from the military, where at a strategic, a tactical, and operational level, everyone looks at the same data, but from a different perspective. So it's all the same data at the different levels, but different perspectives on how this is used. And the common operating picture at the strategic level may have a higher level in terms of KPIs and monitoring across a broad range. At a tactical level, it's more of a planning lens that is applied. At an operational level, it is what is happening in a very specific area around a specific asset or production process. And you want that common operating picture to be agile so that you can change it as your business strategy or some of the business conditions change. You need to be able to do that quite simply. And you also want it to be composable and maintained by your own SMEs, and bring in the data from all the systems that you already have to give you automated prescriptive recommendations, making sure that different people have the same actions on the same data set, so to create consistency across the organization, and being able to capture the knowledge from experts in your business, and in future support that with AI and machine learning and this will enable you to close the loop on actions. It will provide a very consistent way of dealing with certain events happening by providing prescriptive recommendations. And a key aspect is that you can actually use this to create a self-validating digital twin that continuously monitor and validate as it sits. Now, how this common operating picture fits in most typical organizations, you already have assets that have sensors, SCADA, PLCs, all of that. There's hundreds of different systems in your business already, historians, ERPs, all sorts of operational databases, and we're seeing emergence of AI and machine learning tools and a whole bunch of other third-party applications. And what you're trying to do is manage that through people, processes, and technology automation that you may already have. So how you respond to that when things happen. Now, the first part, as we mentioned in the event intelligence part, is being able to take the data in from all of these different systems. How do we take the signals, the data, all of that into and take the millions of data points and reduce it to the key events that we are looking for, whether they're production events, asset health events, or ESG and other risk-based events as well. So how can we take all those signals, provide context to it, and then use that and the key few events that we've identified, that event intelligence, create that common operating picture at the strategic, tactical, and operational levels, all the same data, nothing upwardly filtered to make it look better when it gets to the highest level. Everyone looks at the same data but different lenses, and this provides the real operations intelligence, or the common operating picture, that enables people, processes, and automation to actually deal with that event response and the disruption management that is associated with that. The other big benefit of using a tool like XMPro to create that common operating picture is you can bring prescriptive, or you can create prescriptive recommendations at all levels in a very consistent way. You can also bring in alarms and alerts from other systems into this common operating view again, to make sure that recommendations are consistent across the business. So XMPro in itself, this enables you to empower your smartest people to pull the value levers that align with your business at all levels. It reduces the risk of being blindsided by key business events that are happening or likely to happen, and it improves accountability and closes the feedback loop that provides visibility and the opportunity for learning. XMPro in itself is a digital twin composition platform that accelerates operational and situational awareness, and we do this in a no-code fashion for those industrial business technologists to be able to create a common operating picture, composable digital twins that are more complex, and then real-time event intelligence applications. And we do this as a business capability to help with safer, greener, and more responsible industrial operations, and doing it faster so that there are higher efficiencies and economic return for everyone in the ecosystem. And talking about the ecosystem, specifically in large complex environments, there is an ecosystem of existing applications, and the role that XMPro fulfills in this is orchestrating and providing the composition from all of these different systems to create that composable digital twin that will give you a common operating picture. So bringing in, or not, it's not replacing and replacing any of the systems that you have, but it's more around how do we integrate and orchestrate the information and capabilities from the different systems. Now, this application composition approach is not a new thing. It's, for example, this is positioned, or this is from Gartner on creating scalable composable applications for the type of industries or the type of applications that we see in large-scale industry. And this consists of an integrated data fabric at the bottom, coming from multiple data sources. But there's this notion of a composition platform that handles integration, orchestration, UX development, and you have packaged business capabilities that sit within this that you can reuse. So leak detection or credit fraud or things like that. These are all package capabilities that you can reuse, and some of them might be application based, some of them might be process based, some of them might be data type package business capabilities, but that enables you to create as what they refer to as composed application experiences. What we've done at XMPro, we've taken this approach and turned that into composable digital twins. So XMPro has a composable digital twin platform and enables you to do integration, composition, orchestration, the development side, and also the UX for a whole bunch of capabilities. And in our industries, the typical data types are physics-based models, analytics, IoT, transactional systems, visual data, and master data. That is all combined to be able to create these type of composed digital twins that provide a common operating picture, for example, on that long conveyor predictive maintenance, or first pass yield optimization, or intelligent building energy optimization. And we do that with our data stream designer and with our application designer as the two main components to be able to compose these digital twins in a no-code way that are also explainable and can be deployed at scale. The approach around reusing capabilities is very similar to what you see with the building bricks that kids may play with. In this example, I can break this apart and, for example, build a off-road 4x4 vehicle. Reusing many of the parts, I may have to add one or two others, and I may be left with a few ones afterwards. But this ability of composing and reusing parts is really how the composable digital twin enable you to create a common operating picture at scale. The way that we do that at XMPro is really in 3 steps. The first one is to create those data streams in a visual drag and drop way and integrate to a large library of integration endpoints that we have. And then the next part is to provide the visualization of that in real time for the operations. This is where the common operating picture gets visualized, but probably one of the more important parts is how do we make sure that we can action what comes out of that in a consistent manner, and that's where the XMPro recommendation engine comes in. This is a quick overview of XMPro and how we deliver a common operating picture using a composable digital twin framework to enable you to run your business in real time, making better decisions faster.